Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach the Nerd. And in this episode, I am reposting my Picard reaction. The previous reaction got taken down due to a copyright claim, so I'm having to redo the entire format, which means I can't place a video in the corner like I normally do. I'm going to actually link the trailer below. So it's a new format, so work with me. My original reaction was very positive. I really loved the Picard trailer. I think, like, if you look at the first trailer and this one in scope that was just posted at New York Comic Con, there's so much more information now, like so many Easter eggs, so many things that I have questions about. I'm not going to go over all of them because, quite frankly, this will be a very long video, but I am going to go over a few things that I noticed and some questions that I have. So, let's go. So we know from the first trailer that Picard is at Chateau Picard, his family's vineyard, and that his brother and his family died in a fire, and so he kind of inherited everything. And it looks like he's living alone, except with his dog, number one, which I thought was adorable. So you can see even from the trailer that Picard doesn't look content, like he's not happy. He's just kind of existing in this very beautiful setting, like the backdrop is beautiful. In the trailer, you see him approach what looks like Data, who's in a field, and he's painting an image of a hooded woman, which is ironic because later on, a woman or a young girl in a hooded cloak approaches him and asks for help. During the scene with Data, though, to me anyway, I thought it was a flashback or it was a dream because Picard's wearing his old Starfleet uniform, and when you see him go to Starfleet later on, they actually don't have red uniforms. Like, I didn't see any red uniforms. I only saw the science blue and engineering yellow. So I don't know where the red uniforms are, and the colors look a little bit more vibrant. So there's definitely a color change in the future, 20 years from now, than from TNG. So back to Data. So Data's there, he's painting, and then he asks the question, he doesn't know what to do. They have this little banter. I kept thinking, if it's not a dream, then one of two things could be happening. Number one, he did pull Data's body that was disassembled, like out of the drawer at the facility that was holding him, and maybe they had his memories uploaded somewhere and they downloaded into his body, and then Data returned. But then I asked myself, then why did he wait so long? Unless, like, and to be fair, we don't know the timeline. This could have been something that happened a lot earlier, and we're just seeing it in the trailer. Like years earlier after TNG or him leaving and retiring. I don't know. But why would he wait if that's not true? Why wouldn't he immediately bring Data back, after he sacrificed himself? So I don't know. I just had that question. And then the other question is, could it be B4? Now, B4, God bless him, sweetheart, but he wasn't all there. There wasn't a lot up top. So maybe they used his body, and it was actually his body parts that were in the facility that they were housing, and Data's original body was completely destroyed. So they downloaded Data's consciousness. I'm going to say consciousness because, he has a motion chip. It's Data. They downloaded his consciousness, information, whatever you want to call it, into B4's body. I don't know. That's just fascinating to me. So I'm really curious to see what the explanation on that is. Is he actually there? Is it just an illusion? Is he just talking to Data? Because Data is wearing his old uniform, so I don't know. We'll see. So that was fascinating. The girl, and I forgot her name, I'm sorry, the girl that needs help. So a lot of people theorize that she's the daughter of Picard, and that maybe it was from his time with the Borg Queen. I don't know, I'm not ruling that out. But what's interesting, if you look in the trailer, she's wearing a necklace, and there are two wedding bands. So to me, that is either, I don't know if she's old enough to be married. It could be her marriage, but for me, I think it's either her parents or the people that raised her or adopted. I don't know. I think there's a lot to that story. She could be Borg. She could be anything. She's definitely not usual. So there are a lot of theories going around about her. I'm going to kind of take the back seat on that one just to see where it goes because I like the mystery. But yeah, I'm not opposed to her being, Picard's daughter. It would be interesting because it seems he never got married. So, having that, he's the last Picard, having that last relative, especially female, to carry on, that to me, would be awesome. To me, it would be awesome. So that's her. Some other things that I thought were interesting. There's a scene where you see a bunch of They look like Romulan birds, but I don't think they were. But I don't know if they're Romulan or Borg. Like, the reason I'm saying that is that I have well, I'm trying to keep up to date with the Star Trek comic series by IDW, Star Trek Continues, even Academy. And Nero from the Abrams universe, which I know is going to tie in with the destruction of Romulus in this timeline, he made a point of stating, and I don't remember what issue it was, but earlier in the issue, that his ship was basically modified with Borg technology. Like it's just what it was. So, the Romulans and the Borgs working together, especially if that's what's happening in this series, is going to be cool. So I don't know. The Borg does not seem to be doing very well. Like, they're not a collective anymore. They're completely separated. The cube looks horrible. So, but you do see in the trailer a lot of Romulans in the Borg cube. They're running experiments. They're doing something, maybe trying to decipher the tech more to add to their technology, which would be a Romulan thing to do because Romulans are descendants from Vulcans, so it makes total sense. But yeah, so that's fascinating. There are these androids, if I remember, that have marking. I can't remember the number. It's like 9-4 or something. They all have serial numbers on their foreheads. So I know that they did, what was his name? Why did it go out of my head? Lar? Data's brother. I want to say it's Lar, but I'll correct myself later. And then before, they seem to be the only 3 prototypes for Data, and B4 was like the one that just was a complete failure. To me, it looks like somebody's taking that technology and is starting their own, research into how to make more Data-like androids. And by marking them, I don't know if those are test subject numbers or what, but that is interesting because there are a lot of them. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's so many tie-ins to the show. I love the fact that there's so many different mysteries, so we don't know, what's going to happen. I know that his new crew looks awesome. Do not ask me their names. I know some of them, I think. There's Rafi. She looks like, I think she's the one that's the alcoholic that, to me, she's like special forces, and I think she's living on Vulcan. It looked like Vulcan to me. And she's kind of like, another secret mission, unsanctioned by Starfleet. And so to me, that tells me that Picard has not just been sitting in the vineyard. So he's been out there doing things. So I don't know how deep I don't want to say animosity, but disillusion or disenchantment with Starfleet runs. But yeah, it seems that it's running in Picard pretty far. So he is becoming very anti-Starfleet, which is interesting because he was so pro, the Prime Directive and Starfleet and rules, regulations. It's interesting. It's an interesting take, but people do change. It's been 20 years, so. But yeah, so Rafi looks cool. I don't know what her role is, what she's going to be doing. There's a doctor named Agnes who seems to want to come along. So she's the scientist, doctor of the group. It makes sense. They need a medical officer and a scientist anyway. So she is their human Spock. Chris Rio reminds me so much of a Han Solo. I know that sounds weird. We don't ever cross-trek with wars, but he has that whole Han Solo, I don't give a crap, I'm doing this for the thrill, for the money, anti-Starfleet, and I heard his character is an ex-Starfleet officer too. So very Black Ops type person. So yeah, he reminds me of Han Solo. He seems he's gonna be pretty cool, and I think the dynamic is gonna be cool because I think he was sitting in the command chair, so he's probably Picard's new number 1, which is kind of weird to say because Riker is always number 1 besides his dog. But yeah, I think the banter between these two, because this guy looks like he would slit your throat and not have a conscience about it. So it'll be interesting to see that play out. Then there's the Romulan monk. I think it's Elon. I knew it, and then it went out of my head. But anyway, if you look at him, he's awesome, by the way. He seems to be an excellent sword fighter, aggressive warrior, whatever. But does he not remind you of an elf from the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogies? Like, he could just drop right in and just go. So the design on him is interesting. The long hair, he looks like an elf. I'm like, yeah, he's a Romulan. I get he's a Romulan. He has telltale signs of being a Romulan, but he looks like Legolas's cousin. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's see who else. So Hugh, we do see there's a scene where it looks like And I don't know where they are because I see a lot of Romulan symbols everywhere, but it looks to me like they're escaping from the Borg. So it's the girl that asked for help, that may be Picard's daughter, and Picard, and then the Borg Hugh is helping them escape, which is so reminiscent of the past. But it looks pretty cool, and I'm glad that he has a role in it. And to tag on that, Seven of Nine too. She's got this whole Sarah Connor thing going on, running around with two pistols and helping people. We did see she was hugging someone and crying. I don't think that's Chakotay. I don't think it is. I mean, I didn't see anything about him making a cameo or anything, but I mean, you never know. They could have a stand-in and say it is. Or maybe it's some guy that she had a romantic involvement with that died, but he looked like he died, so. I mean, but trailers can be very misleading. So, but it's cool to see that Seven of Nine, even though she's kind of a vigilante right now, is still looking at Picard like, what? So, what are you doing? I know I'm a little shaky on these ideas because what you're talking about is borderline treason. So, that's going to be cool. That dynamic's going to be cool. And then my favorite thing that happened in this trailer, my favorite, it's kind of a two-parter. So, Riker and Deanna, I've always loved the coupleship of these two, especially if you ever read the old novel Imzadi. It's amazing. Came out a long time ago. They are such brilliant, diverse characters apart, and they're very cool together. And I know a lot of people like Deanna with Worf in TNG eventually. I love their friendship. I didn't like them as a couple. I actually thought when he went to DS9 and got with Jadzia, with Dax, that was a better coupling to me. And I'm not all about the couplings. I just thought the dynamic between those two characters, the chemistry was really strong. So Riker and Deanna always had really good chemistry, even when they did their cameo on Enterprise. Very good chemistry. Just seeing them as nerd dream land. I was so excited to see that. So yeah, Marina Sirtis is still beautiful. Deanna Troi will always be gorgeous. So yeah, I'm super excited. So this show, and I know I'm leaving a lot of my theories out because there was a lot to talk about, but there's a lot of things in the trailer. And I'm hoping we get, since it's coming out January 23rd, I'm hoping we get a lot more information later on, which we probably will. There'll probably be little TV spots where we see different things. But I want to try to keep the mystery too alive for myself because I love, like with everyone else, learning what's going to actually happen. Because trailers tell you a lot of information, but they don't tell you everything a lot of the time in these series specifically. So I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome. This has also inspired me to probably do a Star Trek Discovery Season 3 reaction video, so we'll see. I'm going to try and do that one this week too. I have a lot of videos to put out though, so we'll see what happens. But Picard, love it. What do you think? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you'd like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on the ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys. And if you have time, make sure to check out some of our other videos.